All right, we're live finally. Hopefully, we can get a little more traffic than the last time we did this. I think we had like 3 or 4 people at any given time. It was during Chris's crazy Prince fetish. Was that the video, or was it?
Yeah. Well, we realized Josh wasn't part of that video, right?
I was
No, that's why, because Josh and Aaron and Gary weren't there. That's why we had such.
Yeah, so all the good-looking girls weren't there because Josh wasn't there, and then Brandon wasn't there, right? Oh no, Brandon was there.
Brandon was there. It was just the three of us. Yeah.
Okay.
So that accounts for the low viewership, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here to talk about one of our favorite bands, the Almighty Kiss. And this is going to be an ongoing series. We're not just doing this as a one-off, but we did this with AC/DC before. We did it with Iron Maiden. Well, maybe we didn't do it with AC/DC. I know we did it with Iron Maiden. And in the future, we'll just pick a band. And, every week we're able to get together. We'll do a different band. We can do Judas Priest. We can do the Beatles. We can do Depeche Mode. We can do maybe not Depeche Mode, but we can do, there's plenty of bands we can. Van Halen. Van Halen could be one.
Yeah.
We don't want to be accused of clickbait. We should do a Van Halen thumbnail and then talk about AC/DC for 2 hours.
Yeah, see, every thumbnail on my channel is now going to be Van Halen. Whether I'm talking about Van Halen or not,
I think if you wanted to do clickbait, wouldn't you put like a hot-looking chick in there or whatever?
Gary, what I should have done, I should have put on my negative comments video, I should have put the thumbnail as Van Halen.
Go back and change it. Yeah.
These 5 chicks will be talking about Van Halen for 2 hours. And they show up and it's us.
Yeah. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our top 5 songs, or in Aaron's case, our top 25 songs, our top 5 albums, our top 5 album artwork, our least favorite songs, and I don't know, we're going to pick our favorite solo album. I mean, that might be a little too obvious for many of us, but I know there's, I'm not going to presume everybody's picking Ace Frehley album, but you never know. And then I think we're going to do, if you want to do least favorite songs as well, we can do that. So let's get started with our top 5 Kiss songs, makeup era, non-makeup era, the era with the Imposters, whatever era you want to pick from, you're welcome to it. And we're going to start with Mr. Kiss Profi.
All right. Did Mark St. John come out with a solo record?
No, but, do we count
White Tiger?
Yeah.
No, but I'm just thinking, do we count the Eric Carr one, the Record Store Day Eric Carr one?
It's not really a solo record. It's more demos.
Yeah. All right, so top 5 songs. Here we go, right? We're starting with top 5 songs.
Yes.
So number 5 for me is Crazy Crazy Nights.
Wow.
I love that song. Yeah, it's just it's just typical Kiss party anthem, and plus the album, you've got Paul showing a lot of hair in that.
A lot of skin.
Yeah, but no, I've always loved Crazy Crazy Nights, so that's number 5 for me. Number 4, going back to the debut, I'm going Strutter. Not Strutter 78, but Strutter, the original. It's just quintessential Kiss. Number 3, I Stole Your Love off of Love Gun.
Yeah.
Love that tune. Number 2, Come On and Love Me.
Nice.
Great lyrics for this tune. I love it. Yeah, it's just great. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And number 1, Love Gun is my top tune. So Crazy Crazy Nights, Strutter, I Stole Your Love, Come On and Love Me, and Love Gun. Lots of loves in there.
A lot of
Oh, Paul Stanley.
Yeah. It's, and when I was a teenager in the 80s, I thought Paul was the lead singer and there was no other singer, because obviously in the 80s they were focusing more on Paul. And then I went back, I was like, oh wait, they all sing. I didn't realize that. Getting into Kiss in the 80s, but Paul was the chosen one there for a while.
Yeah, well, he's definitely, he brings it all. He writes great songs. He's a great singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to carry the band.
Great guitar. Yeah, I mean, everything,
And I think I read somewhere where his demos were so good that basically that was how they recorded the song. Like, they didn't really add much to the demos because he thought out everything so precisely that it was pretty easy just to go and record the take. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like it makes sense.
Yeah, well, like demos, like there's a couple different types of demos. There's just like acoustic demos, and then there's ones like Pete Townsend used to do fully fleshed out demos. He'd play all the instruments himself, including the drums, and he would just present it to the band. I was like, okay, this is what it's going to sound like. And I think Roger Waters, to some extent, he would do a little of that. And I think Paul Stanley was the same way. He wasn't just, okay, here's a tune, a sparse, melody on acoustic guitar, and then the band develops it in the studio. I think he would bring this is his vision for the song, and then everybody. I mean, obviously, Ace would throw a solo on there, and they'd make some embellishments to it. But
right.
Well, they all did fully fleshed out demos like that. Even Eric Carr, like that record, it's fully fleshed out demos of how the song is, just a little scouting, but the songs are there. Yeah. And Gene Simmons did the same thing. I've heard a lot of their demos, and a lot of them are close, but they change them too. So
right,
they are better than some bands' actual albums.
Hey, Mike.
Good. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Nice to have you with us. All members of the Kiss Army.
Trevor.
Nice to see you, Trevor.
Oh, Anthony's a big Kiss fan.
And Gary. Hey, Gary, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
All right. Speaking of Gary, physical format rock and roll.
Okay, so my 5 songs here. I don't know. I'm sure except for Aaron, maybe he probably already has his burned in his head. But I had a hard time being for sure what 5 songs I wanted to pick. But this is what I'm going with. We were just talking about Paul.
Yeah.
And I think my first pick is a perfect example of how important he was. And I'm going with 1,000,000 to 1.
Nice.
Off of here because I think it might just be Paul's best vocal that he's done, because he's got parts of it he's singing in this lower range, like he started doing on his 1978 solo album when he started doing some songs like that. And then he's got that real high range going, that basically the stuff that ended up destroying his voice as he tried singing a lot of that stuff live throughout the 80s and whatnot. But I just think it's a very dramatic, powerful song. So I love that. Number 4, off of Hotter Than Hell, Strange Ways.
Nice.
Fantastic song. Ace wrote it. Peter sings it. It's just a class. It's got a Jimi Hendrix kind of vibe to it almost. What do we got? Number 3, Making Love. Love that. I love that song, man. It's got a little bit of a rapey aspect to it there. She says stop, baby, go. But beyond that, the music and everything, really fast driving song.
Yeah, the guitar riff is heavy for that tune.
Oh yeah, it's great. And I love the drums in that too. The way he's kind of, he plays after it. He's got like this behind the beat kind of thing going with the snare. It's kind of a tricky thing to do. I mean, a lot of times Peter Criss gets shit on, but I think on that album he's pretty good. Yeah. Number 2.
I think sorry, Gary, to interrupt, but I think I want to add a category here. Our top 5 kind of rapey songs.
Oh, God.
Well, they have some, so.
So basically, the jeans.
I think most of them would be
record.
statutory kind, but
Yeah. Number 2, off of side 4 of Kiss Alive 2, Larger Than Life. Love that song. Love everything about it. It's perfect rock song, man. It's heavy. Love the lyrics, the guitar, everything. Number 1, going back to the beginning with Black Diamond.
Nice.
Just, you got both Paul and Peter singing on it. Just a fantastic song. So those are my 5 songs, boys.
Good choices.
Awesome
Great.
choices.
It's crazy. 3 of mine have already been listed.
Well, that's cool.
All those songs. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of overlap on some of the categories.
Are we going to do our least favorites as we do them? Like, should they have done
Oh.
that, or are we doing that after?
We'll do it after, I think. I think that'll be better.
I have
Okay.
mine all grouped together, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 5, just talked about by Gary, Strange Ways. My favorite guitar solo of all time. My favorite Peter Criss song. I love Strange Ways. Number 5. Number 4. Oh, I'm out of order here. Number 4, I'm going with Rocket Ride from the
Yeah.
Live. My favorite Ace Frehley song. Love Rocket Ride, and man, it's like my favorite Ace song, like I said. Number 3, from Dress to Kill, She. Love the groove of that song. That's just that's a powerhouse. And when people come over and they say, "Oh, I don't like Kiss," I always try to play that song for them. And there's like, I don't tell them it's Kiss, and they're, "Oh, this is pretty good. Who is it?" They always so She.
That's a cover of a Monkey song, Aaron.
Yeah.
Do you tell them it's Wicked Lester?
No, I say it's Barry Manilow.
Okay.
Number 2, the same as Gary, Larger Than Life. So 2 of
Yeah.
my top 5 Kiss songs are from studio side of Alive 2. And that one, growing up, I mean, my friend had the 8-track, but I told this story. They would only play 2 songs. They played Larger Than Life and Rocket Ride. And so we had those on an endless loop, driving around, during lunch hour at school, smoking or whatever, or after school, and just etched into my mind. And number 1, Chris already mentioned it. My favorite Kiss song, it always has been, Strutter. It's something about the lyrics and the vocals, and it's a great way to start them out. I mean, I could have really done a top 100, but I did only 5. So there we go. That's my top 5.
Awesome list, dude.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, every song that everyone has mentioned has been fantastic, and this is probably the toughest top 5 that I've ever done because my list is constantly changing. And 2 songs that have always been in my top 5 were not in my top 5 today, and that's how crazy Kiss is for me. Like, there's songs that are just so close in how much I love them. My number 5 is going to be off this album, and it's Cold Gin. I've always loved that song. It's just such a fantastic track written by Ace. And I wish he had sung it, but it's still ultra cool. My number 4, Young and Wasted. Just a heavy track. Love that song. Love this album. I could have gone with many songs on this album, but I'm going to go with Young and Wasted. Like Aaron said so eloquently, she is just a badass. She has always been in my top 5 Kiss songs. Always, always, always. It's never left. It probably never will. It's just an awesome song with an awesome groove. And it's one of the songs that got me into Kiss. Because as you guys know, Kiss Alive was my introduction to Kiss. So yeah, just fantastic. Number 2, Parasite. Heavy, heavy track. Definitely it influenced, I feel, to heavy metal in the 80s was a song like Parasite. You could just see the influence all over it. And as Gary said, my number 1, easily my number 1, Black Diamond. Probably one of my favorite songs of all time. You're right, Gary. It's a mixture of Peter's vocals and Paul's and the dynamics in that song. And it's just a masterpiece. And I'm sure most Kiss fans would put it in their top 10. But for me, it's number 1. So
Out on the streets for a living.
sing it, Chris.
Great list.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
There
you guys
really
are-
is no bad list.
Well, there is. My bottom one is.
It's not like someone's gonna say, you know, hotter than hell, and then someone else is gonna say that song sucks. Like,
I like Rip and Tear.
yeah,
Now, I know we only have Jeff left, but I'm betting that, you know, because I was going to say this before, and I forgot, because I was going to say before we ever did this, I bet none of us have Rock and Roll All Night in our top 5.
Very true.
I meant Rip and Destroy.
Rip and Destroy.
Yeah.
Oh, the Misfits covered She also. Did you guys know that?
It's a different shade, dude.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Much different.
All right. My top 5, my number 5, and I know this is one that probably most Kiss fans would not pick because people say it's been overplayed, but I don't care. I'm going with Calling Dr. Love. I love that one. Like the great harmonies, there's just something so catchy about it. And yeah, it's cheesy and whatever.
I love it.
I just love it. It's just a fantastic,
I love it.
well-crafted song. And again, those great harmonies are fantastic. I'm going to go number 4. I'm going with Parasite. Josh, like your pick.
Nice.
Just a great, great, heavy dose of hard rock and roll. Love that one. Probably one of my favorite Gene songs of all time. Number 3, I am going to go with Love Her All I Can with that killer bass groove on there.
Yeah.
It's like funky. It's just something about that. I could listen to that bass groove like all day. Just a killer song. And it really kind of sounds, I guess, a little out of place on those first 3 Kiss albums, just because everything else is just like really heavy. And that one, it's just got a really cool, almost like a boogie rock groove to it, I guess you might say. My number 2, I am going to go with Strutter, the original version.
Nice.
Obviously, it's just a great rock and roll song. And even if you don't like Kiss, you got to love Strutter. If you like rock and roll, put aside the makeup, put aside the hype, all of the superhero image. It's just a no bullshit rock and roll song. I love it. And then my number 1 is going to be off this album too, Black Diamond. When we did this video we did our top 10 Kiss songs or whatever 2 years ago, that was my number 1. It's still my number 1. So I think I might be the third one who picked it as their number 1 song, actually. So, but all right, that's top 5 for what it's worth.
and then what are we moving into next?
Now we're going to do top 5 albums.
Oh, okay.
Do any of us have an OG without Kissing Time?
Right here.
Oh, you son of a gun.
I never would have guessed it would have been Aaron who had that.
Yeah.
Show
I actually
off.
like it better starting with Deuce on side 2. Just it flows where I do like the song Kissing Time. It didn't make my bottom songs, but
Aaron, how many Kiss albums do you own? Like in your
4.
How many?
4?
4?
I've got all these.
You probably own 4 copies of each album.
No, I only have a couple that I have multiple copies of. I got all of them except for I don't have the Symphony album. That's the only one, official one I'm missing. But other than that, I've got all the official, except my Sonic Boom is unofficial. And then I got some bootleg and, some other stuff. I don't know, probably about 50 or 60.
Okay. Well, sweet.
Let me ask, maybe either one of you guys or somebody watching knows. At what point in Germany did they have Kiss change their S's?
I think it was always. I don't think they ever left them. Let them use them.
See this though, because I've got 2 copies of the first album, and this one says, "Wait, is it this one or my other one? Must be my other one." And now I can't find it. I got all these records laying around, but it says it's a German pressing.
Huh?
And
How does it feel? Like the
it
jack-
feels very lightweight, and
Yeah,
and you
that's
take the
German.
record out of the top.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, they might have snuck some in there before they were popular.
Yeah, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. There it is. Yeah, it's real flimsy.
Hmm
And it
The
opens
German
on the
records
top.
sound really
And
good,
it's-
but you can tell the cover is really easy just by feeling them. Those in the UK ones feel very similar.
Yeah, and it's the coloring is slightly different on it. But yeah, it
That's
has
cool.
the lightning bolt S's, and I just wondered, when that happened.
Does it have Kissing Time on it?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I like Kissing Time. I think that's a good
Well,
song.
yeah, I just wish I had the copy that
Yeah.
didn't have it. Is all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't mind the song really. Kissing Time.
My least favorite on that album, but I still like it. Oh, there we go. Trevor knows.
Between 79 and 80.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah. All right, Chris, your top 5 albums.
Oh, shit.
All right, so here we go. Number 5, Unmasked. I love this record. It's got probably my favorite Ace tune, Two Sides of a Coin. It's just a fun, poppy, well-produced record. I love Shandy. It's just a fun record, and I don't know. It gets crapped on a lot. This is definitely, obviously, climbed up. It's number 5 in my albums, but maybe if you asked me as a teenager, I probably didn't even know the album Unmasked. But just through the years, it's crept up for me. Number 4, going Dressed to Kill.
Nice.
And, listen how it starts off. Room Service, Two Timer, Ladies in Waiting, Getaway, killer tune. Rock Bottom, that actually could have easily made my top 5 songs too. I know Josh says they're constantly changing for him. Probably the same for me too. I could have put Rock Bottom in there. Number 3, The Debut. It's I've said it before, basically a greatest hits. My number 2 favorite Kiss record, Dynasty. I freaking love this album. Magic Touch is an amazing song. That song should be talked about more. But the Ace tunes on here are great. I love, and I hate to say disco, but I do like the disco textures in the tunes, like Sure Know Something. That's such a great song. Of course, I Was Made for Loving You. Charisma is one of Gene's best tunes. And then, of course, they cover 2000 Man. And my number 1 album, it's always been my number 1 Kiss album, that's Love Gun. And, I even like Then She Kissed Me.
I do too.
I do too.
Hooligan, Peter's vocals on Hooligan are kick-ass. The bass line in Almost Human, very, very heavy. And then you've got just typical Kiss tunes like Tomorrow and Tonight. Of course, Love Gun. I love Plaster Caster. It's just a killer record. So that's my top 5.
Awesome. I think Unmasked. Now I remember when it first came out, when I first bought it, because I was, already a huge Kiss fan.
Yeah.
And when that came out, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I felt, even though I love it now, and I love Dynasty, I was a little disappointed when Dynasty first came out, only because, we'd had those 4 solo albums.
Yeah.
We had side 4 from Kiss Alive 2. And I'm thinking, man, they just combined the best out of all this. They're going to have such a kick-ass album.
Yeah.
And Dynasty came out, and it was like, first of all, I think didn't it only have like 9 songs?
Let me look.
I don't think so.
Yeah, 9.
Really?
Okay. I was kind of, a little let down, but after some more listens, I, ended up loving that album. And then Unmasked came out, and I'm like, geez, they're going even more poppy. They're super sugary on a lot of this one. But after listening to that one too, it started to grow on me. But, it was also coming out at the same time when, I'm just getting introduced to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Dio joins Black Sabbath. So I mean, you kind of got this other stuff that Unmasked was competing against. And Rush, I was super huge into Rush. So, it kind of, made them seem a little weaker at the time. But now I love it. And I think it's great that you put that in your top 5.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the older I get, maybe it is an older thing, but I find myself going back to Unmasked and Dynasty. I don't know. I don't know why. I love it. Yeah. I think the songwriting is great on those two albums. Not that it isn't great on the other albums, but Dynasty and Unmasked, they've really stood the test of time for me.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's see. My number 5, I'm going with Love Gun, 77. I don't know. Chris just pretty much said everything about it that I don't really need to go into.
Well, there's really not much to say about these albums. They kick ass. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, you kind of do that with your album reviews. When you review an album before me, a lot of times, because like you'll get it before, I'm like, I'm not even going to review it now, because half the time I feel like all I'm going to do is say the same thing you just said. So I don't even review it. But anyway, that's why I got to try to beat Chris to a review. It doesn't do me any good. Number 4 is the debut album. Love it. I feel, this record definitely has a charm to it. The bad thing about it was I had Kiss Alive before I had this. So, at first you're like, man, these songs sound a lot weaker than they do on a live. But then you go back in time and I appreciate it. I love this record on its own merit. It's a fantastic debut record. Let's see, coming up next, Dressed to Kill. Love it. Love this record. Not a bad song on here in my mind. Like you guys said, it's got She on there. That easily could have been in my top 5. I love that song. And Rock Bottom, Getaway. Those are just great. I love some of Ace's guitar solos on these songs, man. I mean, it's just some, and this is some of Peter Criss's best drumming too. You brought up Love Her All I Can, Jeff. That is not an easy song to play on drums. And the bass line's cool. Great album. Number 2, Rock and Roll Over, from the fall of 76. Just a great kick-ass album. They had done Destroyer, got a little fancy, came back and said, well, let's do a meat and potatoes album. Just I can listen to this from start to finish. Baby Driver, come on. This has got so many great songs on here. Calling Dr. Love.
Mr. Speed.
And my number 1, Hotter Than Hell.
Nice.
Just a fantastic album. I love the deep cuts on here.
Mm-hmm.
Mainline, all that kind of stuff. Just a fantastic album. And like Aaron says, you know what? I'm fine with the production. It fits the album. It just adds. It's got its own unique sound to it, and I fucking love this album. Hotter Than Hell.
Hey Gary, could you please watch your language? Jeez.
Yeah, we're trying to run a family channel here. I might want to monetize this video later.
Jeff never swears on his channel.
Keep it clean. I'll bleep it out later. All right.
Well,
good picks.
Yeah, they're great picks. Excellent. I did a top 10, but I'll just do my 5. Damn it. But I might show my other 5. I'll do it real quick. Okay, my number 5, for all the reasons you were talking about, Dressed to Kill. Nice. Solid. I mean, the thing about Kiss, I'm going to be doing my ranking of my top 500 or 1,000 albums. I haven't decided which yet. Every single Kiss record, except for the last 2, is going to be on that list. So that's how much I love every one of their records. Even Unmasked, which is in my bottom 5, that's still one of my all-time favorite records. So I just love Kiss so much. But Dressed to Kill is my number 5. My number 4 album of all time of Kiss is the Ace Frehley solo album. Love this one so much. It's my, oh man. This is just a classic album. Everything from, I love Ozone and Snowblind, they had kind of a secret meaning with me and my friends. Ozone was our key word for smoking. We'd always like say that in school. We use that, but, I'm in need of love. Oh, that's so good. What's on your minds? Every song. And then my number 3, Rock and Roll Over. One of their heaviest, just kick you in the face records all the way through. Just like you were saying. Can't really say much more than you guys already said. My number 2, Hotter Than Hell.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. All of that. And this Japanese pressing sounds awesome. And I love how the U.S. pressing sounds. I love that heavy, raw sound. I like that better than the slick production myself. I'll take a raw sounding album over a slick one any day of the week. And my number 1, Creatures of the Night. My favorite Kiss lineup with Ace Frehley, Eric Carr, Gene and Paul, and Creatures of the Night. My number 1, just barely over those. And, if I had to do my other ones, it would be number 6 would have been Lick It Up. And then, number 5.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron, I can't hear Aaron though. Can you guys hear him?
Is he talking?
Oh. We lost you. We lost your volume, Aaron.
That's funny how we lost him when he started to give more picks than he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Aaron, we can't hear you.
Muting him.
The Kiss gods are punishing him for not following the rules.
Well, I was going to ask him too. So his code word was ozone when they were going to smoke, and I was wondering what it meant when they said plaster caster.
Can someone text Aaron? Let him know or something.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you
He'll
go.
come
Cut
back.
out all together. Jeez. Okay. Well, while we're waiting for Aaron to come back, Trevor has the mask on the back of Hotter Than Hell tattooed on my leg.
Damn.
Well, that's funny. I got the hand from the elder tattooed on my leg.
I have Paul's hairy chest tattooed on my left butt cheek.
Deuce, let me
Deuce.
go rock and roll. 3, Dr. Okay, somebody else loves Dr. Love. I don't feel so bad. Rocket Ride and Parasite. Hey, Craig, how's it going?
Hi, Craig.
What's up, Craig?
Parasite should have been in my top 5.
Look it up. Was so bad his volume cut out. All right. Well, hopefully he gets back in. He says he always has a problem with StreamYard when
Are we caught up on comments then?
Is he? He's not backstage, is he?
Oh shit! Yeah, he is. Whoops. See, there we go. Sorry, I forgot.
This is what live streams. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
So Aaron, we were just.
Did I cut out when I was talking?
Yeah, you did. You were talking for like 5 minutes and we couldn't hear you, but I think
Did
it
you see
was.
my top 5 at least.
Yeah, we got your.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we got
the
some
other
of
ones
your-
for my 6 through 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we-
hate live streams.
We kind of knew you went out on the street for the living, so
Well, you did, and we're all just gonna, I think, breeze over the fact that you picked a solo album as one of your
Yeah.
studio albums. But to be fair, Band on the Run is my 5th favorite Beatles album, so.
Well, it's officially a Kiss record, though, or I wouldn't have picked it. It's not really a solo. It's their official Kiss records.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
really is my number 4. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that album. And, it's funny because the 2 Kiss albums I listen to the most are live and unplugged. Those are the 2. And probably the 3rd is the Ace Frehley solo album. I didn't pick it just because I didn't know the rules of this game and if people considered it an official Kiss album.
listen to this one.
Okay, so my top 5 are super close. They're all awesome albums. And Music in the House, you obviously don't like this album, but I do. And that is going to be my number 5, which is Lick It Up. I love this album. It's heavy as all hell. I think that it's just a masterpiece. I think Lick It Up is my least favorite song on the album. It was a big hit. And a lot of people only know that song. If you only know that song, you are missing out because that album totally kicks ass. My number 4, Creatures of the Night. I know I can see why Aaron picked this as number 1, and it could easily be my number 1. That's how close these are. I remember the first time I got this album, which was years after it came out, and thinking, holy shit, like I've discovered the Lost Kiss masterpiece because none of my friends talked about this album. I'm like, have you heard this album? Creatures of the Night friggin' rules. And as Aaron knows, it was a different cover with Bruce Kulick on the cover. He didn't even play on the album. But then Ace Frehley didn't play on the album either. So it's like both album covers have a guitarist on it that didn't play on the album. So go figure. Okay, my number 3, you guys have already talked about it, Dressed to Kill. Man, I love the early Kiss albums. It's a masterpiece. I love every song. The first 3 albums by Kiss are absolute perfection to me. Even Kiss in Time, I know a lot of people rack on that album, but I dig it. And, it's, once again, it's Black Diamond. I mean, it just catapults this album to another level for me. But it's not my number 1. And I'm kind of breezing through this because you guys kind of touched on most of these albums. But my number 1 has got to be Harder Than Hell at this moment. It's just a masterpiece. I love every song on it. I've grown to like the production. It's not the dirtiness of the production. I just wish sometimes it was even heavier. Like it had more meat to it. But as the years have gone by, I've gone to appreciate it for what it is. It's just kind of a grungy production. And it has a charm to it, and I really dig it. I have no complaints about the production anymore. Even though if you caught me 10 years ago, I might have been like, I wish it was a little different. But I've just grown to love it. So, number 1.
I think the 4 of us have all shown Dressed to Kill. That's been the commonality, I think, so far.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
So,
no pressure.
Yeah,
Jeff.
you're right, Anthony.
yeah. So if I wouldn't have had the Ace Frehley, this would have been my number 5. That's my number 6. So I was cut out of that time. But
It's awesome.
oh yeah, Not for the Innocent. Oh my God, I love that
Yeah.
song.
Doesn't it end with like 3 Gene tunes too?
Yep, Fits Like a Glove, Dance All Over Your Face, and On the Eighth Day. It's all excellent.
Yeah, this was my number 6 if we would have went back.
Yeah.
But my number 15 Kiss album is like one of my top 100 of all time, probably. So that's gonna be loaded up. My top 100 with Kiss and Clutch.
Good deal.
Hey,
Jeff.
Are you
All
still
right.
with us, Jeff?
Well, don't. Yeah, I am. I was like, I'm trying to find all the albums for this next top 5. I was like listening to everybody. I'm like, oh shit, I got to get myself organized here. But anyway, my number 5, and probably I'm going to open myself up to a lot of ridicule for this one. But my number 5 is going to be The Elder. Believe it or not, I love this album. It's a great concept album, and it's so unique, and I love it because it's so unlike anything Kiss had done before or since. It's operatic in places, and they just really take a lot of risks with that record. After Unmasked, everybody was kind of giving them shit for it being too commercial and not sound, like Kiss moving farther away from that heavy sound. So they kind of go in a different direction, but not the direction that you'd expect. Everyone was expecting them to put out another heavy record. And here they go, put out what I know they originally wanted it to be a successful concept album as The Wall was, and it was not. But I don't care. I love it. There's not a single track off there that I do not like. And I think I like it because it's so different. It's not been overplayed. And I really like it a lot. And then my number 4, where is it? Anyway, my number 4, I can't find it right now, is going to be, here it is, Dressed to Kill. Love Dressed to Kill, and I'm glad. I was like, again, I'm like, God, all the albums I picked, nobody else is going to pick, because I always feel like Dressed to Kill gets overlooked. But, I'm with you, Gary. There's not a single song on here that I do not like. I even like Rock and Roll All Night. Yeah, it's been overplayed to death. Yeah, it's the song that if anybody knows one Kiss song, it's probably going to be that one. But I don't care. It's still a solid rock and roll song. At the end of the day, whether it's been overplayed or not, you can't take it away from Kiss. And, I feel like it's got a cleaner production than Hotter Than Hell. And you'll see later on in my list, I've got nothing against Hotter Than Hell, but Yeah, I really there. It's a really short album too. It's not a very long album, even though it's 10 songs. I think it might be one of the shortest albums in Kiss's entire discography, but I really do like that one. My number 3 is going to be Creatures of the Night. Love that one. I mean, it's just heavy as all hell. They finally put out the album that people were expecting Kiss to put out after Unmasked and The Elder. But yeah, it's great. And I love Eric Carr's drumming. Nothing against Chris, but it just like it revitalized the band the same way Ronnie James Dio's vocals, reinvigorated Black Sabbath for the Heaven and Hell. And it really took them into the 80s. Like we can stand shoulder to shoulder with any of the Iron Maidens, the Judas Priest, any of those bands, with an album like that. What was that? My number 3. My number 2 is going to be the debut, the first album. I know it's been said before, but it's really true. Every song on here is a classic, plays like a greatest hits album. And for that to be a debut album is really impressive. The fact that you have so many iconic classic songs on a debut for a band that's been around, over 40 years at this point is really impressive. And then my number 1 is going to be Double Platinum.
That's a great number 1.
I would have picked Kiss Alive. If you're
album.
going to pull that shit, I would have definitely picked Kiss Alive.
Double Platinum's their white album. So, but no, my number 1, it's going to be Hotter Than Hell, even though this fucking album has a skip on it on the song Hotter Than Hell. But what are you going to do? I've got a CD copy of this as well. But yeah, I don't mind the production at all. I feel like it suits the songs. I can't imagine the production being anything more or less than what it is on here. But yeah, I love She, Parasite. All these songs on here are just freaking fantastic. Mainline, everything on here is just killer. And that's, not an album. When I was like getting into Kiss, that was like not one of the first albums I got into. It was Destroyer or Rock and Roll Over, Dynasty, all of those. And I feel bad because I really wanted to include Dynasty. I really wanted to include Unmasked because I love both those albums. They would definitely be in my top 10, probably 6 and 7, respectively. I wanted to put Love Gun on here, but when there's so many great albums, it's so hard to narrow it down to 5. So I kind of pick the ones that I listen to the most. They may not necessarily be their best albums, but they're the ones that if I'm going to listen to Kiss, those are going to be the 5 albums that I reach for first. So, all right.
Do you want to go to the chat?
Yeah, because I know they're kind of piling up. Yeah, somebody else has Ace Frehley's album in there. Oh, they got Paul Stanley's in there as well.
That's a really good one, but there's 1 or 2 tracks on it that lowered a little for me.
Yeah, great album. I'm glad the Elder is getting some love. Thanks, Christian. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, I think all of us love the Elder.
Okay.
Right?
I'm still very pissed off that that's the one. I did a Tipsy Tuesday a few weeks ago with the Elder, and it was blocked worldwide. And I was so upset because I was just jamming out to that album. I had all these stories. It was my best Tipsy Tuesday ever. No one will ever see it.
That's too bad.
I think the Elder is probably in my top 5 actually of ones that I listen to the most regular.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like you said, you don't hear it. You're never going to hear any of those songs on the radio or anything. They're not. They don't play them in concert, so they're not on any live albums or anything like that. Well, they did one on the Unplugged.
Unplugged, yeah.
Yeah, but beyond that, yeah.
Hey, Craig.
That was just a boy, weren't we all? Crazy those first 3 albums didn't sell well until Alive hit it big. Yeah, I know. It took a while for people to catch on, but
yeah. Well,
they did. I'm sure those first, and I don't know, but I'm sure, those first 3 albums had a resurgence in sales after a lot because people were going backwards like they do to rediscover their catalog. What do you think about the Eric Carr RSD album? What do you think, Aaron, or anybody really for that matter? I don't
It's
know.
the
Well,
same
there's
thing,
two.
isn't it?
I
Now,
never listened to it.
there's two.
Oh,
There's the one that Aaron's got behind him, right? Or do you have it behind you? Yeah, right there. And then there's a new one. It's all demos. I'm sorry if I interrupted anybody, but you know, I'm a Kiss fanatic, so I bought the first one. I'm buying the second one, but you could probably live without it. Would you say the same, Aaron?
Yeah, but there's a few tracks that are really good on it, but
Yeah.
a lot of it's a lot of demo stuff, and it's really interesting. It's like a novelty. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good. Not something you're going to play all the time, but every once in a while you're going to go to it. And, oh, this is pretty cool, and it's so cool here in Eric Carr. So, yeah, that might be coming up on something for me later.
Might make one of Aaron's lists. Yeah. Yeah. That
I
could be
actually like that song.
Yeah.
yeah,
Michael
bet
Bolton
you
should
could.
cover it.
A little bit of yacht rock maybe for the time.
yeah. Playing with some Pablo Cruz and all that.
I
Mhm.
like Pablo.
All right,
But
now
yet you
we're
don't like Hold Me, Touch Me.
gonna now we're gonna do a favorite album artwork. Top 5 favorite album artwork. So
Covers.
yeah, so you guys are all mixed up because Chris and Aaron dropped out, but I think it was it you
Chris.
first, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so number 5 for me is the album cover for Dress to Kill. I just love how they're in suits, and if you look at the suits too, especially the legs, they just don't fit totally right, but it kind of adds to the fun of the album cover. So number 5 is Dress to Kill.
Yeah, I think Peter was the only one who actually owned the suit that he wore, right? Wasn't Bill Aucoin the one who like loaned them his
I think it
suit?
was Paul. I think it was Paul that had his own suit.
Oh, really?
I might be wrong. That might have been Peter.
Number 4 for me is The Elder. I love the album artwork for this. It's so unlike Kiss as far as cover art. Oh, well, actually, as far as sonically too. But kind of a mysterious cover. Paul's hand, wondering what's behind the door. I don't know. It's just kind of cool.
Well, even the
Chris is
gatefold
going
on
on.
this long table.
Yeah. Like that. Number 3 for me. I've always loved the cover for Dynasty.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I thought that, if you think about covers, if it would make a good poster, it's probably a kick butt cover. And this makes a great poster. And I was noticing too, their makeup is a little different on Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like Peter Criss is kind of doing the green on his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like a little bit of the updates that they did for their makeup.
Ace too with the blue.
Yeah, I wasn't big into their costumes for the Dynasty tour, but the makeup's very cool. Number 2 for me.
Sorry, Chris. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to say something about Dynasty. I heard Dynasty was the most expensive cover that Kiss ever designed because it was like a composite of different pictures or something like that. I read somewhere that was the case, and maybe somebody in the comment section or whatever, or somebody wants to comment on that, but I read that cover, even though it doesn't seem like it would involve a lot, but apparently that was a really expensive album cover to produce.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't doubt it. Whatever they did, it turned out awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 for me is the cover for Love Gun. And what makes it for me are the girls underneath the Kiss. They're just looking up at them, and I don't know. As a teenager and as a almost 50-year-old, I still get into this cover. So yeah, how cool is that? Superheroes, girls are just throwing themselves at Kiss. Who doesn't like that? And my number 1 Kiss cover is Alive. You just want to listen to this record after looking at the cover. You don't even you might not even know what it sounds like, but you know it's going to sound great because that cover is amazing. It's iconic, especially the back cover with the concert, footage or the concert photo. But I have always loved this album cover, so that's my number one.
Great choice.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was back when, an album cover could actually sell a record.
Yeah.
Where you would see that in the bins and be like, I gotta have that. That looks awesome, even if you'd never heard any of the music before.
Yeah,
That's
then also
interesting.
this was really smart to put this on the back because it's like if you didn't know who Kiss was, you're like, wow, look at all those people that are going to see Kiss. So I gotta jump in on this.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you picked The Elder. I remember me and my friends who, I had a couple friends and we were the only people that still loved Kiss. Everybody else didn't give a shit about them at that time. And we went into the record store like we always did when we went over to Lima. And, we're looking through it. I was always hoping that Kiss Killers was going to go down in price because, it was this import record. So I was always looking through there. Well, all of a sudden, because that thing didn't have any advertisement. And all of a sudden, it says Kiss, music from The Elder. And we're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And you look at it, Kiss is not on the front. They're not on the back. It says music from The Elder. And we're like, is this a movie soundtrack?
Right.
We didn't know what it was, but, it had the Kiss thing on there, emblem. So, we all three of us bought the record.
Yeah.
And so we're going home, we're driving home, and you open it, we open it up, and Kiss is not inside either. It's just his table. So, you still have no fucking clue what this record is.
Yeah.
At the time. And we get it home, and I remember, everybody drops up. The next morning, we're calling each other, man, what do you think of that record? It's pretty cool, and it's like, it's really weird. We're still trying to figure out, is this from a movie? We're still confused because, you had no internet. You had no idea what it was. Hadn't read anything about it in a magazine yet. Yeah. Then you start reading stuff and Gene's saying, yeah, we're going to turn this into a movie and we're going to tour it as this big stage production. And they had all these plans, and then the album just went in the toilet and they didn't do anything with it. Now they pretend like, oh yeah, big mistake, blah, blah, blah.
And it's funny because when you talk to most Kiss fans, they love The Elder.
All the hardcore Kiss fans do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad there aren't any pictures of Kiss, considering what they looked like back then. Like Gene with the short hair and Paul with the head. Ridiculous. So I think they did us a favor not putting any pictures of them on there.
My God.
There's the Killers.
Well, doesn't the Japanese pressing of The Elder have a photo front?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm on the hunt for that. So
okay, artwork number 5, Love Gun, for all the reasons Kiss just said. To me, this looks like the art, because this is from the 70s, and it looks like when they had the magazine format of the of Conan the Barbarian, the comic book things. It was black and white, but this looks like artwork right out of that.
Yeah.
Number 4, this is my original copy, so it's beat to hell. Kiss Destroyer. Of course, this is what it was going to look like, right? And then they updated their costumes to change the art. I mean, this is the album that I first saw on the shelf that made me, I'm like, who is this band? I bought this pretty much because of the way this looks. So I got to put that in there. Next up, number 3, just like Chris said, I know this is number 1, but Kiss Alive. You look at this and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? I want to see these guys in concert. What does this sound like? Just a fantastic album cover. Number 2, Dress to Kill. Got a t-shirt of this. I've always loved this cover. I like the negative side on the back too, but just seeing them in regular clothes, but yet they got the makeup on. There's just something so cool about that, called it. And then they call the album Dress to Kill. You know, here they are in suits instead of their normal stuff, and they call this Dress to Kill. I thought it was kind of cool and ironic. Number 1, Rock and Roll Over. I love this. I love this painting. You know, I think it's cool. I thought it was cool when they had it on the floor. You know, when they did the unplugged and everything. I love this. This just, you know, you can spin it around. It's fun to spin around.
Yeah, it's
Makes
fun
for
for the
a
whole
great
family.
What's that?
It's fun for the whole family.
It is.
I just want to say one thing. I want to comment on what the townspeople said. He said something like Kiss hasn't put out a good album since the solo records. And listen, you're entitled to your opinion, but I would suggest for you, Mr. Townspeople or Mrs. Townspeople, go back and listen to Creatures of the Night. And I think that's one of their best albums, and that's post solo records.
Yeah.
What if it's a generational thing? Like, I'm not trying to presume how old, you know, that person is, but, you know, maybe if you were, you know, you grew up with Kiss in the 70s, and then maybe you just don't like 80s rock in general. You don't like heavy metal or whatever. I mean, I suppose that could be the case, but I wouldn't make a broad generalization and say, oh, Kiss sucked after the solo records when they put out so many albums after that. But whatever. You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because I do all these Kiss shorts and I get a lot of hatred and a lot of homophobia and a lot of just terrible things people say about the band Kiss. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go look at their channels, and no offense, Chris, but these people are like, they like have Madonna videos. And I'm like, okay, so I have no offense, no problem with Madonna. I get people love Madonna, but you love Madonna and you hate Kiss. Like, Kiss has, to many people, it's pop music, you know, like Madonna. I know it's totally different, but it's a music that's popular to millions of people. We could easily sit here and trash Madonna, you know, but people, it's fun to pick on Kiss. It's like a sport to people. That's the way I look at it. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, like, you trash Kiss, but there's no bands that you listen to that these people that trash Kiss that.
Right.
You know,
Hey, Steve.
We're not going to trash Madonna, though, right?
No, of course not.
Okay,
she's a virgin.
Because, you know, Lucky Star and Borderline are two of my favorite songs.
Yeah, and hey, my two favorite Madonna songs, Live to Tell.
Yeah.
I love that song. Oh, Father.
Yeah.
I do like Madonna.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying, brother.
Yeah.
Let me ask a comment that was up there from Gambler 812, Anthony. He said that Ken Kelly, who's the artist for this, he said that all these girls are the same girl, that it's Ken Kelly's wife.
Oh.
And so I was trying to look at him. I don't know if I think that looks like because they got different hairstyles.
Well, Ken Kelly's wife was a Smokehouse.
Yeah, let's Google Ken Kelly's wife.
Too. Unless, of course, he might have did her a favor and paint her a little bit better.
Well, I'm also thinking she's probably a lot older now, so she probably still needs to wear the makeup.
But I feel like over here, you know, looks a little bit different than over here. So I don't know.
I don't know, but Gary, would you be upset with these girls at your party?
No, I would not. I love the outfits.
Me too.
Here's one for you, Chris. What would be a good Kiss Madonna mashup song?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one because sometimes people put mashups together. I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. And then I listen to it. I'm like, oh, wow, that actually sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I'd have to think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
I was made like a virgin.
Like a virgin in Plastercaster?
I was made like a virgin.
I don't know. That's a cool question, though.
Okay, Aaron, I think we're on Aaron, right?
My number 5, and my favorite part is the one with the missing body. The girl with missing, that's just her head there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know
My
that.
number 4, Destroyer. Love that cover. Number 3, Dynasty. Number 2, Alive. It's just all the same stuff. And number 1, Creature of the Night. There we go.
Awesome.
Wow. That was quick, Aaron.
That was good.
All right, my number 5. Hotter Than Hell. I know some people are thinking, well, how the hell can you pick Hotter Than Hell? But hey, Chris, there is nudity back here.
I know it's dirty on the back there.
Yeah. But here's the thing: is that like to me, this album cover was kind of creepy as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like it really did creep me out, which was a positive. As you guys know, I was totally into horror, so like being creeped out, I definitely dug it. My number 4, Love Gun. Love it. Just like what you guys said. And I do love that old Conan art. I used to have all the like paperback books, those Conan books. Rock and Roll Over. I'll tell you the one thing about this. I loved in 1996 when Kiss got back together and they started putting out all the merchandise of the 70s t-shirts. Man, I went crazy. I had like every album cover, but this is the one that I wore the most, which was so awesome. Just beautiful art.
You can
my number 2, the original. The Beatles have an album cover with their 4 heads. Glenn Danzig 2 has a cover like that. The Doors, right? So many bands have done it, and it's just iconic. I absolutely love it when bands do that. So that's number 2. And number 1, Kiss Alive. Absolutely love Kiss Alive. So yeah, there we go.
Cool.
All right. My number 5 gonna be Dressed to Kill for the same reason. It's just kind of funny not to see Kiss wearing the makeup and not wearing the costumes. The irony of it all, I think, is very cool, and it fits with the general theme of the album title. Rock and Roll Over, epic, classic, iconic cover there. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you spin it around, like there's no wrong way to position this album cover.
And that's so weird because before you guys said that, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. In any way. They released 4 different and there are people who think they released 4 different versions of this cover, each with a different angle, but it's not true. And even on the back, look on the back, it's the same thing.
That is so cool. You know what? They almost should have done like a Zeppelin 3 where you could turn the dial.
Yes. Yeah. What do they call that? Like I forget what they call that, but
a dial.
Yeah, I think you're right.
A dial.
Number 3 is going to be this. I love this one. I love the exotic feel to it.
Makes you want to have sushi.
It does. It makes me hungry. I look at this album cover, it makes me hungry.
Yeah.
I want to order fried rice or something. But anyway, and then the comic book fan in me loves Love Gun and, of course, Destroyer.
Awesome.
So that's nothing terribly original, but I didn't realize I would have picked Alive had I just thought we were going beyond the studio albums, I guess, but I didn't think to grab that one. So anyway, those are my 5, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get into the negative. Now we're gonna maybe piss some people off, and we're gonna my least favorite Kiss songs.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I just picked one, and I'm going with When You Wish Upon a Star off of Gene's solo record. Just not into it. And I listened to it again today because you guys know I like Broadway music and things like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it another chance. I listened to it. Gene's vocals really aren't even that great on it.
Trevor.
So, When You Wish Upon a Star. That's my least favorite.
Okay. My least favorite song. And I don't really know that it's necessarily their worst song. I'm not saying that. But Out of This World off of Monster, only because I don't like the fact that it's like they told Tommy Thayer, write it a style song, make it spacey or whatever. Like it's on the other album he did the Lightning song, and I just think that's kind of cheesy. I don't think it's fair to Tommy. I think he could have done something better than that. So, and I just think it's a stupid idea. So, Out of This World.
Are we doing least favorite of all these things, or just the song?
Or least favorite song right now.
At this moment, yeah.
Okay, because I have least favorite of all three. So,
And Aaron, you can take extra time because I just have one. So good.
I'll do
Good.
it after you. So I'll do my other ones. So
Okay.
my songs are. Okay, I gotta grab. I wasn't prepped. Well, I am, but I'm not because all my records are mixed up. And where's the damn thing at? Probably right in the back. Holy crap. Okay. I'll just say my Gene Simmons, I have two songs, When You Wish Upon a Star and Hot and Cold from Sonic Boom. I just think the lyrics are cheesy on that one. And then I have a least favorite for each member. Paul Stanley, it was Hold Me, Touch Me, Think of Moving Her Apart. That's just the cheesiest Paul Stanley song. And also my least favorite, my other least favorite Paul Stanley is Turn on the Night, my least favorite Kiss single ever. I don't know why, just something about that. And for Peter Criss, it's Kiss the Girl Goodbye. It's all these sappy songs I don't like as well. And Rock Me Baby, those two in a row on his solo album. And I don't have any least favorite Ace Frehley songs.
That's crazy because I love Turn on the Night.
So are you
That's
saying-
okay.
Kiss is my favorite band, and that's my favorite new album. There's something about that song I didn't like as much. I don't know why, and it just rubs me the wrong way. I do love the album Crazy Nights, but just that song, I just don't care for that much.
Oh, I totally get it, dude. You know what I mean? So when this came to me, the first thing I thought was When You Wish Upon a Star, and that's kind of the one I picked. But I will tell you that Paul Stanley with the Hold Me, Kiss Me, it's neck and neck. You know what I mean? Like both songs equally are kind of cringy to me. But if someone likes it, like, you know, I try to keep it positive. You know, like, hey, all the power to you. But those are probably my two least favorite. I know, Chris. I'm sorry. I love you, brother.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm a lover, not a fighter, Josh. So, you know.
And you know what, Chris, is that you know, I love you so much that you could probably make me a fan, you know?
Yeah, maybe I should do a cover of that song.
Yeah,
I love
maybe.
love songs. I love love songs, but I just don't like the real over sappy stuff.
I hear you.
I will say, commenting on what Trevor was saying there, the only thing that keeps me from putting like When You Wish Upon a Star is the reasoning why Gene put that song on there. And you know what it meant to him, what Walt Disney meant, and all that, you know, his history, what he went through and stuff, is the only reason that's not like on my bottom.
Yeah, I think my problem is I didn't know that until recently. You know what I mean? So all those years, I was like, why the hell is he singing this song? You know? So yeah.
Just Chat GPT what the song Look It Up is about. The responses. Who's Chat GPT?
Chat GBT is AI.
AI.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's
music in
avoiding the
house,
subject.
Sorry.
That's fine.
We're like old guys, music in the house. So
Paul's perverse lyrics.
Anybody
Well,
else?
that song has one of my favorite lines. Song ever.
What'd you say, buddy?
Look It Up actually has one of the best lines of any Kiss song.
Which line is it that you love?
Yeah, that's that line. You got to live like you're on vacation. It's just like a mantra to live by.
Yeah.
Love that so much. That one line.
I do like that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like
I like
about
the
Lick It
song.
Up is when they do it in concert. And Paul does one of his
You're
raps.
gonna
He
lick
goes,
it up.
I lick you and
Yeah.
you lick me. And I'm like, shut up.
well, we should have done top 5 worst Paul rants.
I could
You
go
know
my
what I
whole
hate?
life without Paul licking me.
I hate when he sticks his finger in his mouth.
Yeah.
Then pulls it out. I'm like, why do you do that?
Come on, Paul.
Come on, Paul.
Paul.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Anybody own the record club version of Rock and Roll Over with the teardrop under Paul's eye?
No, I
No.
own the one that you can turn.
Yeah, that's not the record club version though.
Okay.
I think, but
No, I used to have that on 8-track from Columbia House.
I have one of Gene's tears in a thimble in my room.
So are we gonna do least favorite album cover?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can do that too. Yeah.
Oh, can
Well,
I
wait
go
a minute.
first?
Yeah,
'Cause I hate
Jeff
this
never did
fucking
his
album cover.
Oh,
song.
Jeff didn't do his
Yeah.
least favorite
Oh,
song yet.
Yeah, mine is going to be Beth. I mean, I've never liked that song.
Beth,
I just-
hear you calling.
Hey,
I just-
the next time you see my wife, Jeff, don't tell her that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I can identify with the whole, like, leave me alone, bitch. I'm with my friends. Still, it's just- dude,
Oh boy.
If Peter Chris had sang "Beth, I Hear You Nagging," Jeff would have been like, "This is a
This
masterpiece.
is my favorite.
This is my favorite track."
yes. Same with, if Sammy Hagar had thrown some snarkiness into some of his songs, I'd be down with all right. Okay, yeah, we could do least favorite album cover, least
Okay.
And least
favorite
favorite album.
album,
Right?
even if you want.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll show my least favorite album, and it's Monster. And again, I like Heller Hallelujah. That's a good tune. Wall of
Well, it's got-
Sound is pretty good. I don't know. I just never listened to this record, and it's probably good, but I like Sonic Boom a little bit better. But yeah, that's my least favorite Kiss record. And my least favorite album cover, they could have Animalize. I feel like we had no ideas for an album cover. Like, and then the back, they look like they're trying to kick somebody's ass, but they're not because Paul Stanley's showing his hair again. I don't know. I'm just not really into the cover. It's terrible. There's no, I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah, do you think it was like a Mad Max thing they were going for on the back cover?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was definitely of the time. Yeah.
It is. And I mean, I don't know. It's a great album. The cover
Yeah.
stinks. But yeah.
All right. Well, my least favorite album is same as Chris said, Monster. And I don't hate this album. There's plenty of songs on here I like.
Yeah.
It's just, my least favorite. And my least favorite album cover. Yeah, you know what's funny? I do want to say when you say Animalize, when I picture the cover of Animalize in my head, I always picture the back.
Mhm. Yeah.
For some reason. I don't picture that front.
This would have been a cool cover.
My least favorite would probably, I feel like they could have done something better with these off the soundboard deals. But as far as like their studio ones, mine would be Revenge. I don't like the cover of Revenge. It just looks boring to me. I don't like the coloring of it or anything.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, my least favorite album cover. Now, Animalize is definitely there, but I've got to go with this just because. What the hell are they doing with Bruce Kulick on the cover? And the back is absolutely atrocious.
What's the back? What's the back?
It's an ass.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
geez.
have no idea who. That's the problem. If I knew whose it was, that'd be something. But
This is the back of the Creatures of the Night.
going from Creatures of the Night, the cover they had to this is just crazy. I mean, and I love Bruce Kulick and I love Eric Carr, but this just makes no sense whatsoever at all. And my least favorite album by Kiss. Now, I listened to my bottom three today, and let me get. Hold on.
I don't know if Aaron knows it, but if you take the cover for Creatures of the Night, shake it really hard and turn it around, Anton Fig will appear.
Well, you can get you can get those special covers where you shake it and the pants come off. But like those pants that you turn upside down back in the 70s. And my least favorite Kiss album. Now, I do like this album, but it's definitely Sonic Boom. And Monster's my number 2, and Monster's my number 3. Peter Criss Solo's my number 2 just because of a couple songs, but I do like it a lot. But this one here, the reason it's my least favorite, there's some really good highs on this, like Heller Hallelujah. But the song Stand, I think, is one of the worst Kiss songs. Hot and Cold, those two right in a row are just something wrong with those songs. And I think Dangerous is really not my favorite either. So the rest of the album I like. It's just those 3 songs. And it's the only Kiss album that there's more than one song that I actually don't really like that much. And Monster has, I think Monster's a more solid album, but it doesn't have the highs. Hell or Hallelujah is really good. But Monster, what's that? It's Shout Mercy. I just can't go with the woo-woo thing, and it bugs me. And also Out of This World, like you said, it's weird. That was a total mistake having Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer use their makeup. They should have had their original makeup, and then it would have been fine. They could have had their own personalities. But that's my least favorite. And all the Peter Criss will actually make my list though, and the Monster maybe. But Sonic Boom, I don't know, something about it. I actually like the CD better, Sonic Boom, with the re-recordings of the old songs. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But something about Sonic, there's a few songs on it that just make me kind of cringe with the lyrics on Sonic Boom, and I've never done that with Kiss, and it really is odd to me because I love like all their 80s stuff. I love almost every song, but those 2 are just a step down to me.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's just they should have stopped making albums. It's like Maiden should never have put Senjutsu out.
Well, there are some really good songs on Monster and Sonic Boom, though. If they would have combined them and made one great album, they could have made a really good one.
That's true. Yeah,
I agree.
Because there's Hell or Hallelujah and Modern Day Delilah. Those 2 songs are awesome.
Yeah.
And, Freak. I like Freak and Wall of Sound and Back to the Stone Age. I like a lot of them.
I agree with you, though, Aaron. I think they should have had their own makeup.
Yes. It doesn't sit right with me that they didn't. And, Eric Singer was always talking about, I can be the Hawk and stuff like that. I mean, they had ideas for it. I don't know why they went that route. It just, that's the one thing that's bugged me about Kiss is when they went that route. Other than that, they're still my second favorite band after Clutch, and I love almost everything they've done. I have about 10 songs I don't really care for out of their whole catalog, and the rest I love.
Well, Steve loves Monster.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that is something.
That's
I mean,
cool.
there's
some good songs on it.
He's older, and that's like, like he said, it's a top 10 Kiss album for him.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. That's, that's kind of cool. What's cooler is he said he saw him on the Hotter Than Hell tour. I imagine they were
and Dress to Kill.
They were part of a package deal. I mean, but
yeah.
Still,
It's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like that one guy, the guy, I forget what his name is now, but he was leaving those comments earlier. I bet he's like in his 70s, like Steve is, and it probably, one of the reasons why he doesn't care for anything past the 80s is because Kiss kind of got away from that classic rock sound a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
You mean the townspeople?
Yeah, townspeople. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So for me, the Peter Criss solo album has always been my least favorite. I will tell you that Sonic Boom is close, but that being said, I do love all the Kiss albums. And you're right, Aaron. Sonic Boom has some really high highs, and it's got some cringy lows. And that's becoming my least favorite Kiss album. It's the one that I listen to the least, and it's probably because of those lows are really low, I feel like. But that being said, Monster, Sonic Boom, and the Peter Criss solo albums are very close to me, but I still enjoy them. My least favorite album cover is Super Easy, and it really pisses me off because it's rapidly becoming one of my favorite Kiss records, and that is Carnival of Souls. This is a travesty. It really pisses me off. There's very little things in this world that piss me off besides, heinous crimes, but this pisses me off. It's blurry. It's pixelated. It looks like shit. Like, Kiss can't fucking invest to get the negative of this photo and give us an album cover that doesn't look like a bootleg. They have tons of photos of these 4 dudes, and they couldn't give us a better photograph.
Looks like they ambushed them, like, oh, guys, hey.
Yeah.
Well, it was the grunge era, Josh.
Yeah.
And that's what's, I don't know. I like that album.
Yeah.
And I don't think I hate the album cover as much as you do, but to me, it's like very put on. I mean, it's like they're saying, okay, we're a grunge band now. They're trying to dress differently. Their equipment is more minimal, and everything. I don't know. It's you could tell they're specifically going for
Yeah.
that type of look.
You just don't
Even
like
it-
Paul
Go ahead.
Stanley isn't showing his chest hair.
Yeah, he's not. But here's the thing: is I don't mind that. What I mind about it is the photo is grainy. It was obviously designed for a CD.
Yeah.
They invested. Kiss has amazing reissues. They sound awesome. Most of them come with the original inserts, and they spent all this money on all of these reissues except for that one album. You know, and Kiss kind of puts down the Elder, but they obviously took care in putting in that reissue. But Carnival of Souls is a fantastic album, and I absolutely love it. And I think it's just a giant slap in the face. And I do feel like Kiss loves to make money. Take my money. Come out with a new cover, and I'll go buy it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Take my money.
Well, especially a title like Carnival of Souls really, you know, it evokes so many different images that you could have run with artistically. But
Yes.
Steve, what comment did I skip over? I don't understand. Oh yeah, that lenticular cover is pretty cool too.
I love the album.
That's almost what Carnival of Souls should have been, something like that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have done something cool like that.
That album was an afterthought. Unfortunately, it was released after the original four got back together.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why too. They didn't. It wasn't like when they were planning on. And I remember I was shocked. I went into the store one day and saw the cassette. And I was like, holy crap! What is this? A bootleg album? And I bought it and I loved it. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that feel like a bootleg.
yeah.
Yeah, they put very little effort into it, but not in the album, but the album cover, but the album is fantastic. I absolutely love it, and I was thinking about doing a new Kiss ranking before this video came up, and Carnival of Souls was much higher on my list than it was 5 years ago.
We still need to do that. We need to do a video with all the Kiss albums, rank them.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
absolutely.
And Chris or whoever wants, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, no, I saw this comment, Steve. I just didn't read it, but yeah, that's why I said, Steve. Like, I mean, I don't mean I didn't read it. I meant I didn't read it out loud. Oh, I saw your comment, but I'm like, fuck that guy. I'm not going to even look at it. It just meant I didn't read it out loud. But yeah, I read it, just not out loud. But yeah, no, that's why I just started the whole thing.
Jeff, I don't see you drinking a beer tonight. I think that might be what's wrong.
Well, you haven't been paying close enough attention. I drank two since we've been doing this video.
All right. I'll give you one from my keg here. I'll send it to you through the.
Yeah, will you fill me up? Can you knock me off there, buddy?
I'll take some more. I'm empty.
All right.
All right. Any other thoughts on Kiss?
Do you want to show your favorite Kiss solo album?
No.
Because Chris, it's not this one, is it, Chris?
Mine is Ace Frehley's.
Really?
No.
This is a great. I love this album. It's just those two songs I don't like.
I have a feeling when I visit Chris in October, we're going to be listening to the Peter Criss solo album.
Yeah. Madonna.
Madonna.
Well, okay, so and my second favorite's probably the Paul Stanley. I love the Paul Stanley.
Oh, I like
yeah,
the
me
Paul
too.
Stanley.
Definitely.
That's a great one.
Gene's my second.
And it's
Where does
funny, I
Ace
guess-
rank?
I don't know. I love the ballads. I
Here's my
know
number 4.
Aaron doesn't like Kiss the Girl Goodbye. I can see that. I like the tune though. I Can't Stop the Rain.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
like
great
his version of Tossin' and Turnin'. That's probably the most Kiss sounding song. Yeah, I
Don't you
think
let it down.
listen, I totally understand because I think when Kiss fans listen to that record, they're like, what the hell is this bullshit? Sounds like an R&B record. And it's like the production is kind of got a cheesiness to it, like a 70s cheese, but there's
Like
something-
Neil Sedaka.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, there's some great songs on it. And again, but this is coming from the guy who likes Hold Me, Touch Me, whatever, make me a grilled cheese sandwich. So
And Chris, like I said, man, even though I rank it low,
yeah,
I still enjoy it, and I enjoy all the Kiss albums. It's difficult because I hold so many of their albums at such a high esteem.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Well, and okay, this is my favorite Kiss record.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I'm kidding.
Chris, you got me to buy a Rod McEwen album. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's an instrumental album.
It's incredible. Yeah, Gary, we got to get you that album. It is totally Halloween terrific.
Oh, the one to freak your neighbors out? Or
Oh my
whatever.
God. Yeah, it's so great.
I think it's one of those albums everybody has to have in their collection.
Yeah, it's like Metal Machine music where you could easily get your wife to leave the room if you pop it on.
Right.
Is it
I
as
got
good as
plenty
Jack,
of music for that.
What'd you say, Aaron?
is it as good as the Jack Pyle record?
Well, Jack Pyle's hilarious. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But this album is not going to induce laughter.
Oh,
Well, there's a second part to that record if you look it up on Discogs, but I think there was only one made of it.
So
special edition.
I have a funny story. I sent you, Chris, Glitter and Doom, and I sent Aaron Glitter and Doom.
Yeah.
And Michelle said when I was listening to Glitter and Doom early in our relationship, that was the one time she thought about leaving me. And today I'm watching Aaron's video, and Aaron goes, "All right, Glitter and Doom live. I think Josh has sent this to Chris." Michelle goes, "You sent it to two people? Don't you like these people?"
That's funny. Well, it just goes to show you how much she loves you because she didn't leave you.
She
So-
didn't leave me. That's true.
And I think you should
Oh,
put
that's
her
true.
through. You should put her through a Tom Waits listening hour.
No, because then I will be single. I'll be moving to Poughkeepsie, New York, and we'd be roomies.
Dude, I'm opening a record store when I retire, so we got to do this.
All right.
Let's do it.
So Jeff, did you ever do your least favorites?
Did I what?
Did you do your least favorite song?
Least favorite
Oh.
album.
No, I never did, but they were the same as Josh's, honestly. I my least favorite would probably be Peter Chris's. I mean, tossing and turning, come on. And then my least favorite album cover is Carnival of Souls.
So can I ask you guys, where does Shandy fit for you? Because I love Shandy. You guys like Shandy?
I
I
like
love that.
Shandy.
Yeah.
I do.
I love the guitar playing on that too.
Yeah.
Chris, I was in Wichita and I met a girl and she said that her favorite song was Shandy, like in the whole world. And I was like, the whole world? But come to find out, her father had bought her Kiss Unmasked right before he had passed away. He bought it for him, passed away. And oh my God. Yeah, it was an emotional story. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people that like Shandy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Peter's drumming on that. Peter sounds like a completely different drummer on that
Yeah.
song. I think he really went to the woodshed and, he dug deep for that album because he really sounds revitalized. But
Peter, Anton, Chris.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the Kiss Tom Schneider interview?
It's hilarious.
Oh, I love that when Ace is laughing.
Oh, yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
plumber.
I'll have
Tom
to say
Snyder.
cover songs as well as some other things though. Either like Van Halen does cover songs and like what is it from Revenge? God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too. It's like my least favorite song in Revenge. Every time there's a cover song, it's my least favorite on the album usually, which
Except
is
for 2000 man.
Huh?
Except for 2000 man.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's their song though.
And she.
Well,
She's
not a-
she technically is a cover.
Yeah, it's a lot different than the Monkees version.
Yeah. and
Wicked
All
Lester.
those-
Wicked Lester. Hey, I really like And Then She Kissed Me. I really think that's a great cover. I have always enjoyed it.
I agree.
My buddy loves God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Like,
The
and
only
he
thing I like
loves
about that
Kiss.
song is Eric Carr. That's the last thing he ever sang on. But
Yeah.
I skip past that stuff. One of the few Kiss songs I skip past usually.
Well, Aaron said that his favorite and his least favorite Kiss single was
Turn on the
What is
night.
At night.
Turn of the Night. What is your least favorite Kiss single? A song that was released as a single.
Oh, it's either Let's Put the X in Sex or
Oh, I love that.
or what's the other single? off
You
the
Make Me
record?
Rock Hard.
I
Yeah,
love both
that-
those.
I don't know.
Was
Yeah,
Crazy Nights released as a single?
Yes, and that's Chris's top 5
Yeah,
favorite songs.
Jeff. Jeff, don't shit on that song.
It's for me. It's crazy. I mean, I just can't. I can't get with that.
I
but
like
what
Crazy Nights.
That's a
Bang,
bridge
Bang
too
You?
far. That's asking too much of me.
I love that song.
Yeah, I agree with Chris and Aaron. I like that song. I'm a
And
big
Jeff,
fan
look,
of that whole
there's-
album.
You
That
can
one
have
is
They're
it.
ready.
flipping him off.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you
Can
go.
have it, he says.
Yeah, you can have that song. It's all yours.
I never was a huge fan of what's the song on Revenge? The one that sounds like he's saying fuck.
Oh, I just want it. I love that song.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's never been one of my.
I just want to forget you.
Yeah, I just want to forget you. It's all right.
And
But
do
I
wanna say
love-
this.
I love the song Domino, and so many people hate Domino, and I love Domino, so I get it.
I like it. The only reason I don't like it is because of the Black and Blue song "Nasty Nasty," and it's like the exact same music, and they took the music and put different lyrics over it.
Yeah,
And that "Nasty Nasty" is one of my favorite songs of the '80s. So as soon as I heard Domino, I was like, "This is nasty, nasty." So that's the reason. But
I do like Nasty Nasty also, but you know.
And I'm going to say this. If Brandon was here, Mr. Hall of Fame, you guys know how cool he is. Crazy Nights is one of his favorite Kiss records.
It's his favorite. And "Turn On
Yeah.
the Night" is his favorite song. So sorry, Brandon. It's nothing against Brandon. It's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
his favorite Kiss
I mean,
song too.
Yeah, we can't all agree. You know what's funny is I noticed that, like, when we did these top 5, like, all the ones that you guys had, like, you know, like certain albums that were not in my top 5, when I was they were like my number 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was none that you guys picked that I was like, oh, geez, what a stupid pick. What's a Revenge that sounds like summertime? Oh, that's I gotta.
I just want it.
I just want you got a body made for sin and an
Yeah.
appetite for
That's I
passion.
want it.
One of my favorite intros is on Kiss Alive 3 when right before Forever when Paul's like, every time we do this one, the place lights
Yeah.
up like a damn Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
And I love Forever too. The drumming on that's amazing.
Yeah.
I like Kiss Alive 3.
I do too.
I like Hold Me, Touch
Kiss
Me.
Alive 4. I need it.
Yes. We got to get that for you, dude. If Roger wasn't asking $500 for it.
I know. I'd buy it from him if I had to.
500
Is there a
bucks. What?
12-inch single of Hold Me, Touch Me?
Maybe. I'll look for it for you.
Then that would be my least favorite single.
Because if you find it in the $2 bin, Josh, at Purchase Street, I'll take that shit.
All right, man.
I'd take it too for the B-side.
If I ever find any Kiss in the $2 bin, I will be glad to buy it. And then we can all fight over it.
Kiss,
Yeah,
that's the
I have
thing.
a
You'll be
feeling
keeping
RBC in that.
Exactly.
yeah, I doubt Kiss will ever be in the $2 bin.
Well, Monster might be
Could be, yeah.
the CD
Yeah.
version.
You'll be amazed what I find in that $2 bin. That's some great
I'm
shit.
already amazed.
Yeah, well, you go to Savers and you find all these classic records for $1, and it's like, what the?
Yeah,
I
but
know.
every time I've been to Savers, it's jack shit there.
Yeah, you don't go twice a day like me and Anthony, though.
You can't even find Jack Pyle there.
But if I did, I'd buy
Let
it.
alone Jack shit.
I cannot believe I found that Paul Simon there. That's like a $50 record.
That's a great album.
Oh, yeah.
And I love how you sent us that Metallica cover of the Elton John tune. That's freaking awesome, man.
Oh, yeah. They did a great version of Love Lie Bleeding.
I still
I
haven't listened to
would
that.
love if they came out with another covers record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do covers good. They
Yeah.
do. No one does them like old Van Halen, though. They made the
Oh,
covers
no,
good.
yeah.
Original.
Yeah, yeah.
Van Halen were the masters.
Yeah. The original Van Halen, yeah.
So before we
There you
end,
go, Van Halen. For you.
I'm taking over Jeff's channel here. Before we end, how
Yes.
did you guys feel about this record again?
I like it a lot, actually.
I love
Chris,
the
I'm
cover.
kidding. I'm kidding.
It's a masterpiece, brother.
I listened to that, Sonic Boom, and Monster all in their entirety today. And
Here's what I envision. I envision in October when I visit you, Chris, you'll be playing that album, and Michelle will look over at me and say, this has got to be the best Kiss album ever.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. If you want to bring the ladies in, you can't play She.
Blue Cheer Summertime Blues from 69. Cage match over $2 Kiss. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, this was fun, guys. Next week we'll have to pick a different band.
Van Halen,
Aerosmith.
AC/DC.
Yeah, I think any of those would be great picks, actually.
Yeah.
So we'll come to a consensus. We'll cover all those
Yeah.
bands eventually. AC/DC, Aerosmith. We already did Iron Maiden, but we can do Judas Priest. We can do
Slayer.
Slayer, Steely Dan.
The funny thing is like AC/DC,
Fleetwood
my
Mac.
favorite album cover will probably surprise most people. It's like, yeah, I don't even want to reveal it, but when we do that,
Back in
AC/DC.
Black.
Black
I love
Ice.
AC/DC's album Toys in the Attic.
yeah.
Ronald
Hey,
Bucket, favorite AC/DC album.
some dude on Instagram tried to
Grand
tell me
Fuck.
that No More was on Rocks. And I was like, it's not on Rocks. They have Charlie.
Nope.
I was like, unbelievable.
Baby, I'm a dreamer.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.